Dr. Westman here with another episode of Learn with Dr. Westman. This episode has to do with a question I get over and over again. Are artificial sweeteners permitted on a keto diet? Well, in an ideal world, you would completely break your need for sweet foods. But this is a tall order. If you're dealing with obesity, diabetes, metabolic syndrome, or another cardiometabolic health issue, artificial sweeteners like sucralose, aspartame, and saccharin will be less problematic for you than regular sugar or other caloric sweeteners like honey, molasses, agave, and maple syrup. In my 2 decades of helping people lose weight and reverse chronic illness like diabetes, I've seen thousands of patients use these sweeteners without adverse effects or bad effects on their health or weight. But if you can follow a keto diet without needing anything sweet, great. But if you can't, including artificial sweeteners can make a ketogenic or low sugar strategy much easier to stick with over the long term. And that's what you want, something you can do for the rest of your life, not just until your next vacation or class reunion or some other event you want to look and feel good for. Look and feel good every day for your loved ones and even for yourself. Sugar alcohols and other low-carb and no-carb sweeteners like erythritol, xylitol, stevia, allulose, and monk fruit are also permitted. But remember, you don't subtract sugar alcohols if you're using the total carb method of carb counting, like I recommend. So read labels and count the sugar alcohol carbohydrates toward your total for the day. What this will do also is put a limit on the artificial sweeteners. I recall a patient who did not count the sugar alcohols as part of the total carbs, and she came in a few weeks into the program complaining of having diarrhea. This is very uncommon, possible but uncommon. After some detective work, I figured out she was having over 20 packets of sucralose every day. After stopping this artificial sweetener, the diarrhea resolved. So in typical daily usage, artificial sweeteners are fine, but I think it's best to count them as part of your total carbohydrate intake. What about the concerns about the risks of artificial sweeteners? Some people read that these are even worse than sugar. Honestly, I'm not worried based on the preclinical research that has been done. Preclinical means that the research is done in test tubes or mice or rats, in observational human studies, or in a very focused area of human research like the gut microbiome, the gut bacteria. As a human-focused researcher, I just can't get worried about this kind of information yet. Now, if you have a sensitivity like a headache from aspartame, of course, don't have it. Sometimes I even wonder, though, if the sugar industry spreads this information to get people to go back to sugar. What about natural sweeteners? Avoid them. They have sugar, they have glucose. Sweeteners that are considered natural, like maple syrup, molasses, honey, and agave nectar, contain small amounts of nutrients, but ultimately they're still just concentrated sources of sugar. If you have obesity or are living with a condition caused by or exacerbated by high blood sugar or insulin, the wallop of sugar these sweeteners deliver overshadows the minuscule amount of nutrients they provide. Nutrients that you can get in higher amounts from other foods without the hit to your blood sugar. If you prefer to avoid artificial sweeteners and you are metabolically healthy, small amounts of these natural calorie-containing sweeteners can fit into your diet. Please look below for the free information that we have for you. Click subscribe and ring the notification bell, and why not share this with a friend? It is a grassroots movement after all. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and check out adaptyourlifeacademy.com.